Okay, thanks. Hi, Josephine and Barry are here to talk just a little bit about mindful self-compassion as we're running a course soon, and we thought it might be a nice thing to introduce ourselves. And I suppose the first question, Barry, would be, why would anyone do a course in mindful self-compassion? Are we not compassionate enough?
No, definitely not. I'll speak from my own experience, and I learned about mindfulness and compassion when I was working as a lawyer 13 years ago and experienced burnout. And these skills really work. An awful lot of stress, in my experience, and I know from speaking to many others, it comes from how we relate to ourselves. We just continue to be harsh and critical and pushing, and it held us back in a lot of ways and held me back. So I've just found the practice transformative. I'm really glad I came across it, and yeah, it's a skill we can learn. Learning to relate to ourselves the way we might relate to a friend. Mm. Anything that you would add? Why might someone do a course in mindful self-compassion?
I think we live in a very competitive, highly critical and blaming culture. We absorb that in how we relate, not just to other people, but how we relate to ourselves. So we can be, we're both the friend and the enemy inside, and this can consume a huge amount of energy and inhibit energy, inhibit well-being to develop, and also inhibit developing resources, which, as you said, we're learning skills to resource ourselves to deal with the challenges of a life.
And one other thing to add as well is, it's not just our experience. There is an awful lot of evidence and research, and especially in the last 10 years, in terms of benefits for the immune system and all kinds of other things. That's worth learning.
Yeah. And I suppose a typical course is, as we say, over 8 weeks. Each night is at least 2.5 hours. And we know that people are, tired of looking at a screen. But the night actually is very interactive. We do a lot of guiding, and then there's time to talk, to chat, to share how one found that little practice. So there's quite a lot of energy, it's I'm getting stuck here now.
Small groups too. You're not always in big groups. You experiment with these exercises over a week. It's not just working in the evening, practicing in the evening. You have little kind of informal and formal practices, and it's really interesting just to see what people notice when they come back. What's different? What's helped?
Yeah, and I suppose there's lots of practices to do between each week. So it's it's like learning a good habit, don't they say? Do it for 21 days nonstop, and so something begins to seep in and develop in quite an organic way. So we'd really love to hear from anyone who's interested, and we will respond as soon as we can.
Yeah. Please get in touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, okay. Josephine.
Thanks, Barry.